This is James at Reedish Motorsport. I'm going to show you in this video how to check your E46 M3 for floor cracks whilst the vehicle's on a ramp. This applies to pretty much all E46s, but this one is an M3. So we're going to look at the left rear mount of the subframe first of all, which is this mount here. And the cracks on the left rear don't actually come from the mount themselves. They actually start from a fold in the floor. This one is cracked, so it's quite easy to show you on this. So if you're stood underneath the car at the left rear, there's the diff here. These are the exhaust pipes coming through. So locate the left rear anti-roll bar bracket, which is this item here. And if you look directly above it, you'll see a fold in the floor. It goes along there, and there's a fold there, drops down. And the cracks appear from this fold. This one's got a crack. If I just zoom in, and the crack is just above my screwdriver. It's probably about 12 millimeters long that side. It gets a bit dark when you go around the side, but you can see it travels up the side. Just above my screwdriver there, it's travelling up the side, probably about 25 millimeters. I'm just going to shine a light around the side. There we go. So you see that crack? It's about 25 millimeters going up the side, probably maybe even 15 millimeters underneath. So when they're cracked like that, they're quite obvious to spot. So locate the left anti-roll bar bracket, look directly above, and that's the area you need to be looking for. And then moving on to the other common mount, which is the right front mount on the diff carrier, which is hidden by a plastic under tray. So the best thing to do is look up in that hole. There's an 8mm self-tapping screw, take that out, and then you've got a little bit of movement on your under tray. Don't pull too much, but you've got a little bit. And then you can locate the mount. That's the base of the mount, where I'm shining the light. That's the nut on the stud holding the subframe and mount. And that's the one we want to look at the very top up. We want to look at the floor. So the best thing to do is put a light or a torch in there. This one is a lot more tricky to find because you've got a lot of items in the way. Anti-roll bar, drive shaft, lower camber arm, and the handbrake cable. So bear with me, I'm just going to focus onto the floor and then move the handbrake cable down, and you can just get to the top of the mount. We're actually looking at the floor, and in the distance you can see a hairline crack which is probably about 10 millimeters long, and it's coming out of the top of the mount and it's pointing to 10 or 11 o'clock on a clock face. The handbrake cable, you can see in normal position, hides the top of the mount, so you need to pull that down. I'm just going to try and see if I can point to it. So it's just at the end of my screwdriver here and finishes about there. That's where it finishes at the moment, but the actual starting points of these is a spot weld above the bush on the floor, and you can't see that without dropping the subframe. So this one obviously will be cracked more because the crack will be starting from underneath the bush, but the fact that you can see these two cracks without even lowering the subframe is obviously an indication that the floor is cracked. So that's how to check for them whilst the car's on a ramp.